we are nearing very critical areas, very critical zones. So let's form our battle plan for the week. Hello Adrian, and welcome back to my channel. It is 7:30 p.m. and UTC +8 is my time zone. Hope you are all doing well on this beautiful Sunday. Yes, it's the last day of the weekend, and I hope you had a wonderful weekend, everybody. So let's go into it. And first, let's say hi to the hardcore crew who are basically with me almost every day. Hi Nikolai, hi Lex, hi Jeremy, hi Tina, hi Donald, hi Rob, hi Thanks. Hope you are all doing well and had a beautiful weekend as well. Hope it was very very relaxing. Well, for me it wasn't that very relaxing. Was actually quite a lot of things going on during the weekend. Well, first of all, there's no longer lockdown. Well, it's still ECQ. It's not, but it's not MECQ anymore. So it's a little bit more softened, and that means that the construction finally has started on my house. So I'm very happy about that, and I hope that they can get on with things, and that I will be able to be moving into my new house. Well, basically by the end of the year or something like that. And I can finally have more space and set up my desk properly, and probably get a new computer overall, because this computer is starting to get a little bit outdated. I only got it last year or something like that, I think, but yeah, it's starting to get a little bit too slow. I hate it when there's like lag on the computer whenever I'm doing anything. So yeah, I think it's time when I move to the new place that I'll just start to manufacture or get some pieces together and assemble a new computer. I used to run my own computer shop myself and build computers myself, so I can do it myself. I don't have to hire a computer shop or go to a computer. I just need to buy the parts and then just assemble everything myself, how I like it and how I customize it myself. But yeah, I think it's necessarily it's needed, because well, every time when I see like lagging and stuff like that, I really I really can't stand it. It's really annoying. It's really annoying. Anyways, yes, everything is going well. I mean, they're working on it, and I get progress updates, of course, on a daily basis. I think in the next 2 weeks, they will start to put my solar panels as well on the roof, on the rooftop. Starting to build the solar panels. I got Canadian solar panels that are going to be input there, and yeah, I don't wanna pay this stupid electricity bill anymore. So that's the reason why I put a lot of solar panels on the rooftop. Well, I designed it all, and then basically what will happen is I will very likely have more energy, more electricity coming in than that I'll be using, and then I'll actually get refunded, or the money I will get refunded back from the electricity company. So yeah, I will be making money by just watching my solar panels get some electricity for me. That's basically how life should be, just enjoy, be just let nature do their work, and not harm the environment too much, and so on and so on, and not losing too much money in the process doing it. Anyways, let's go back into technical analysis. That's why we're here, and not talk about some random bullshit in real life. Real life doesn't matter. It's all about digital stuff, it's all about fake internet money like Bitcoin. That's what life is about. I'm just kidding. Anyways, let's go back into technical analysis. And well, we had a pretty good daily close. As you can see, we went back above the EMA 21, back above the yellow line. However, as you can see, we are still quite far below the 10 simple moving average, and that's basically the first whenever we are looking for reversal, we wanted to be seeing of course, breaking back above the EMA 21, hold it there, and also see the momentum switch. And how do we see the momentum switch? Well, basically see the slope of the 10 simple moving average curl towards the upside. Well, a nice example is basically here. As you can see here, we broke all the way down, touched the EMA 21, but as you can see here, the slope of the 10 simple moving average is still towards the upside, meaning, as you can see here, bounce, we broke back up for it and we went back up. And this is basically not what you want to be seeing. So we broke down, broke back up above the EMA 21, but as you can see, the slope is still angled towards the downside. So that's also the reason why I don't think, and that's something that I've explained yesterday as well, I don't think that this is the end of our downtrend just yet. Okay, so what did I say yesterday? Very likely we would be retesting the at least somewhere near the EMA 21 on the 4-hour chart after this green box touch towards the upside and back towards the green box towards the upside. Well, like I said, so if somebody was listening, as you can see, once again, it is a perfect trade that you could have made from this green box all the way back into this green box. Yes, you can just play from green box to green box, long, short, and so on as well. But once again, as you can see, what did I tell you guys? Very, very likely we would be getting rejected from this EMA 21. It was possible that we went a little bit higher and touched the EMA 55. Usually, whenever we have a bearish cross, that's basically the retest of the cross, we touch back the EMA 21, or even in some cases the EMA 55, but in this case it was just the EMA 21. As you can see, we got rejected from it and back down we go. So like I said, the next time that we will be going towards the downside, very likely we will not be holding that green box anymore, and very likely we'll be going all the way back down towards, well, for the first bounce, I would say this moving average here, which is the EMA 200, or the simple 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. So what I'm expecting is back down towards like 11,200-ish area, 11,200-ish, yeah, and then a bounce from there. But overall, I do think that because this is going to be triggering on the daily time frame a move, deeper correction towards the downside, like I said, very likely a small bounce from there, and then back somewhere around the lower 11,000-ish area is where I'm expecting the price to be going. And then that is when things become really, really interesting. Like I explained before yesterday, if we do start breaking that structure below the 11,000, then we would have confirmed a downtrend on the daily, and that would be extremely bad, right, for our trend. Because if that would happen, if we do close below if we create a lower low on the daily and we start the downtrend on the daily, very likely we will be ending below 10,000. Like I said before, very likely somewhere around this green box here, between 9,600 and 9,700-ish area, somewhere around this this green box is very likely where the price is going to be going to. Is that going to be happening? Of course not. Like I said, I just traded level by level, but I do believe that the key level of the 11,000 is of major importance over the next week that we are coming and going there. Well, let's take a quick look for the reason why that is so important. Well, that would be starting our downtrend of our daily on our daily chart, because, well, first of all, this was our low, this was our higher high. This was our lower high, this was our higher high, this was our lower high, this was our higher high, and this was potentially our lower high. If this was confirmed as our lower high, we would have made a move towards the upside once again, because that's basically the definition of a uptrend, right? So, but that is basically not what happened. And what happened is the price did not make a lower high. So this pattern was invalidated, and that's the reason why we are currently now seeing this downtrend towards the downside, right? So now, if the price holds on this area here, we would still be making a lower high. As you can see here, if you compare it from this point, we would make our high, lower high, this would be our higher high, this would be our lower high, and off we go once again. So once again, if we would be holding this area here and confirm our lower high, that would be good as well, because things would be okay. But the problem is, like I explained before yesterday, on the medium term, we did break our structure, because this is no longer our lower high. So the correction is very likely going to be a little bit stronger towards the downside, right? So now what are we looking at? A bounce that we are bouncing above this green higher low. Yes, sorry, all this confusion, it's making me confused. Anyways, yeah, so a higher low is what we want to be making, and what I want to be seeing is here, make a higher low here in comparison with this higher low here, right? So if we make a higher low here, then we can make a bounce back up towards the upside, and then things will be pretty much fine, and there's no issue at all. So this would be our low, it would be our higher high, this would be our lower high, this would be our higher high, this would be our lower high, and we basically make some sort of like a triangle, something like this, right, towards the upside. So that's the reason why things would be still okay if we would be bouncing above that, you know, around the 11,000, and we're talking about the close. So we're not talking about a wick down. So the price can wick down as long as the daily closes above this daily close here. Things are perfectly okay. The problem is, of course, if if we do close below it, then we don't have our structure in form anymore. So it would be this would be our low, our higher high, lower high, higher high, and lower low, which means that we would be starting a daily downtrend towards the downside, and that would mean that very likely we would be going all the way down here towards around 9,600, 9,700 ish area, somewhere around that area. Would not be pretty, so I don't want to be talking about that, but I just, you know, that would be my basically my trading position. If we close a daily close below this point here, I will be shorting the market. It's just as simple as that, because I will be expecting price to be correcting all the way down below the 10k. But as long as we are holding the 11k level, things are still fine. We can still build a higher low structure, so things on the medium term level would still be okay. Well, let's go back on the shorter shorter time frame, and well, basically we have on the shorter time on the smaller time frames on the 4-hour chart a downtrend in position right now, right? If we are looking at our structure right now, we can clearly see it here. So this is our high. Oh, sorry. Yeah, and I took the green box instead of what I wanted to do. Okay, wait. Let me move this one again. Okay. Okay, back to my name. Yeah. Okay. So this was our high. This was our low. This is our lower high. This is our lower low. And this is our potential, our lower high. And what does that mean? Very, very likely we will be creating a lower low, because that is basically the definition of a downtrend, right? So very, very clear as well. We have a downtrend on the 4-hour chart, or on the smaller time frames, right? So the reason why I don't think that we will, well, how do we break out of this structure, right? How do we reverse? Well, the reversal is quite easy to be found, right? So when do we have a reversal of the structure? Well, the reversal of the structure is when we are going to be creating a higher high. When are we going to be creating a higher high? Well, basically when we are breaking above this previous structure here, right? So once again, let me move back into this brush. So if this was our previous high, and we break above it, well, where is my brush? My brush is not working anymore. You see that it started lagging. I need a new computer. I need a new computer. Anyways, so this was our, where's my brush? It doesn't want to draw a brush anymore. I don't know what's going on. There goes my explanation. Let me try this again with maybe with candles. No, doesn't want. Okay, trading view. No, it doesn't want anymore. God damn it. Maybe I need to refresh my my tab. Let's refresh the tab, and let's hope that my whole chart is not removed. If I refresh my chart, oh god damn it! I hope it's not removed. God damn it. Okay. Psych. Trading view. No. Okay, I have to rename this one to a 4-hour chart. Let's move this one. Psych. Okay, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's a little bit of changing a little bit, but it's not that bad. Okay, let's put this back into my daily. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Where's the pivot line? Okay, let's move this one. Okay, back here. Green box here, here, and the green box here. That's correct. This green box we have to move to here, and yeah, okay. This is basically back on where we are supposed to be. Okay, let's go back into our line chart. Okay, our line chart. Where was I? So this was our high. This is our low. This is our lower high, this is our lower low, and this is our lower high. So basically what we need to be seeing is a break of this previous lower high, right? So if the price would be breaking above it and closing above this one, then we have a reversal of the structure. But as you can see right now, we are trending towards the downside as well. So still trending towards the downside. And what is very, very important when we want to be seeing a reversal of the trend is, of course, we want to be seeing divergences, right? So as you can see right now, do we see any divergences, bullish divergence? No, we do not see any bullish divergence. And if this one creates a lower low and this one does not go all the way down here, then we would be creating a potential bullish divergence, right? So like I said, very, very likely probabilities are very high that we are going to be swiping in the price action a lower low first before we will get a reversal towards the upside. So like I said, very, very likely a swipe more towards the downside. Potentially this 11,200 could be a reversal point. It's possible, but like I said, just looking on the daily basis, it doesn't make sense that would be our reversal pattern. Very, very likely around the 11,000 area, and I'll give you a couple of more arguments a little bit later on why I do think that it's very likely going towards that 11,000 ish area first before anything else. But yeah, like I said, and like I explained yesterday as well, very, very likely we would be seeing a move and a rejection here at the EMA 21. This is basically what happened, and then continuation towards the downside. Like I said, very, very likely we will get a price starting a bit with the opening of the tomorrow, basically around this area here, 11.2, small bounce from there, and then very likely continuation to around that 11,000, and then we will have to analyze from there, because if we do get a daily close below that area, things would be, like I said, things would be very, 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 very bad for Bitcoin. I'm not expecting it, but you know, like I said, I'm a trader, so I just have to put that all into my calculations or into my mindset. I don't want to be biased and you know, too biased into some direction. But right now, it's a downtrend, a confirmed downtrend on the 4-hour chart towards the downside. As you can see, we are creating lower highs and lower lows. That's the definition of basically a downtrend, right? So until we see bullish divergence, until we break above a previous lower high, you know, there's nothing to be said. It is a downtrend towards the downside. And like I have also explained yesterday, we can see that the divergence, the widening of the EMA 21, the EMA 55 is getting bigger, and the gap is getting bigger. And of course, the 10 simple moving average is still sloping towards the downside. So what does that mean? Very likely continuation towards the downside is very, 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 very likely, right? So that's basically what this is saying right now. Does it mean that we cannot reverse? I mean, of course, there's a probability that this is going to be reversing, but right now there's no signal or nothing that is telling me that you know, it's going to be reversing right away. Like I said, around 11,200, and then we'll be re-evaluating from there. Let me draw the where is my my beautiful support and reverse line once again on the RSI. It is gone. Oh, it was so pretty. Where was it? Was it like this? Something like this? Was it something like this? Yeah, I have since that's gone, I have to redraw it again. But anyways, yeah, this looks like continuation towards the downside, like I said, and very, very likely, yeah, it's going to be happening over the next day and then the next weekly close, basically, right? So let's talk about weekly closes, right? Weekly closes on the longer time frames. Okay, where is my longer time frames? Okay, here, this is the weekly time close, and well, as you can see right now, we are forming, you know, quite a bearish candle on the weekly. If we close like this, we have a bearish engulfing candle in comparison with this candle. But if, of course, if we move like somewhere around towards this area here, which is basically the as you can see here, between where we stopped and where we opened up then the next week, and if we put an orange line that right there, it is exactly at 11,062.5. So if we go back there and push back up again, like I said, things are still perfectly fine. On the macro scale, as you can see on the weekly level, let me remove this red line here. On the weekly level, things are still perfectly fine. As you can see, we are still above all major moving averages. So on the macro level, yeah, things are still perfectly fine. But of course, and as you can see here, the RSI cross down is at 11,031, as you can see. So like I said, around that 11,000 area, if we close below a weekly below that, it will trigger a massive downfall towards the downside, right? So be very, very careful, be very, very aware of that 11,000 area. Like I said, that is really a lifeline. If we close a weekly below that, it's not going to be pretty. Okay, let's take a look on the 2-day chart, because the 2-day chart is actually showing a lot of making a lot of sense as well. And as you can see here, the 2-day chart, we were still holding the last couple of 2 days. We were still holding the 10 simple moving average, but then we closed below the 10 simple moving average. And where is the next area of importance is, of course, a drop down towards the EMA 21 on the 2-day chart. And where is the EMA 21? It's perfectly there at that orange line that I've just drawn on the weekly chart. So as you can see right now, the EMA 21 is at 11,049 right now. So yeah, pretty much the area where I'm expecting, like I said, 11,000, the lower 11,000-ish area. I'm talking about the close. I'm not talking about a wick. The price can easily, like this one, like a wick below it, right? And then move back up. I'm talking about a close. It has to be closing above that, you know, 11,000-ish area, or things will be very, very, very bad, right? So right now, as you can see, Stokes, everything, things are perfectly on the macro level, still perfectly fine. But yeah, if we start closing and we start creating a downtrend on the daily basis, it will trickle over and become a domino effect over the 2-day, the 3-day, and the weekly, and of course later on the monthly, which is where we're going to be closing next week, right? We will have another monthly close. But like I said, just looking at the global market, the traditional markets, like I explained yesterday, things are still looking pretty good. The Dixie is yes, the Dixie is going up, but I think it will get rejection as well on the daily basis over the next couple of days as well. So I don't think there's pretty much big issues just right now. I'm just talking about short term, very, very short term. Over the next couple of days, very, very likely a pullback, 11.2, a little bit down more around the 11, lower 11. But I think it's an opportunity to be buying rather than to be worried than anything else. Coral, yeah, I will be doing exactly the same thing as what you are saying. So I will be. So what is the trading plan? The trading plan is, of course, well, I'm still in my short from Friday, right? I'm still in my short from Friday for a small position. I took already quite a lot of profits on my short already when we hit that green box here towards the downside. Yesterday I did enter I added a little bit to my position around here on this area here near the EMA 21. I'm just holding that position towards the downside right now, and I'll be closing around this 11.2 area. I will not be aiming for this area. It's just a little bit too tight, this area in between. I'll be just taking profits around this 11.2 area and then see what happens overall. And then I will be trying to be longing exactly the same thing, what you're thinking, Coral. I'll be trying to be longing this area here, laddering in from, like, you know, around the 11,000 to 11,050, 11,000 70, 11,050, 11,070, maybe max at 11,070. Well, where would be your stop loss? Well, the stop loss would be is quite simple, to be honest, because, well, if we are looking at the price, like I said, usually what happens is 3 times, right? So we can clearly see here we got wicks here on that area towards the downside. We got a wick here that was basically so this was basically our first official test. This was basically our second official test, and usually if we go break down below more, things would usually break all the way down. So what I'm going to be doing is basically using this wick here towards the downside as my stop loss in terms of like price, right? In terms of price. But if we close a daily, just closing a daily below the green box here, I'll be closing my long position immediately as well. So to be very clear, any price that is below 11,000 in terms of a close on a daily basis, I'll be out. So if price closes, the daily closes at 11,000, exactly 11,000, I'll be closing my long position. So I don't care about what happened next and so on. But in terms of like full price, well, we can be a little bit more lenient. Let's put it like that. I will be very likely be using this one here as this orange line as my stop loss, which is currently at 10,929.5, right? So somewhere around that area is very likely in terms of like price, because we are in a leveraged market, so it can it can always be wicking down towards that area or something like that. But I would be very, very careful around that area. Like I said, don't take too much risks. It's better to just, let's say you get stopped out, but things move back up immediately. Well, you can still re-enter immediately, right? So that's what I feel people are taking a little bit too much risk whenever they take like small losses, they just get too dramatic or too too emotional about it. But yeah, that's what the trader is being a trader is all about. But very, very clear, a daily closes are way more important than wicks, right? So a daily close below this green box, 11,000, or creating just basically a close below the previous low here. So what is this exactly? The closing price was 11,060. So just closing at 11,050 or something like that. Well, let's give it $10 more, 11,040 or something like that. I would be immediately closing my position, because that would break the structure. Like I said, it would create a lower low, and it would and basically tell me that we would have a downtrend, but not on the 4-hour chart, but a downtrend on the daily chart. And like I said, very likely we will be ending below 10,000, very, very likely over the next coming weeks, month, something like that. I don't really think that it's going to be happening just yet. I still think we have one leg more towards the upside, but I don't trade my opinion. I trade technical analysis. So if the price does confirm there, but overall, like I said, just looking at the volume, looking at the structure, looking at the traditional markets, I still think that we have one more leg up, because the traditional markets are not done just yet. We are creating all-time high after all-time high on a daily basis. So I still think that on the macro level, when these traditional markets are slowing down a little bit, and usually it's going to be happening over the next couple of months, that we're going to be slowing down, because like I said, the important date is the American elections in November. So just before the elections, there will be hesitation, because we don't know. I mean, people will be very curious. Is Trump going to be re-elected? If Trump is going to be re-elected, I expect the market to keep on going towards the upside, and we're very likely going to be going more higher on the stock market. If Trump is not going to be re-elected, I do believe that we will have a serious correction towards the downside. So I'm not politically inclined in either way. I don't care about Trump. I don't care about the politics. I'm just saying that the trend the trend is very clear. When Trump was or is the president, the market is going towards the upside. So it has nothing to do with politics. I'm not a fan of Trump. I'm not a supporter of Trump, or anything like that. I'm just saying that the charts are just what I'm following. Like I said, technical analysis is what I'm doing. Nothing else. Nothing political. So don't hate me for political stuff or anything like that. Anyways, So what would be our so let's say where would be I be stopping my my stop loss for my position where I'm at in right now? Well, very very clear, a close above the EMA 55 here. So let's say at the R2, closing a 4-hour candle above 11,740. That would be stopping out my short position as well that I'm in at right now, right? So I always have, like I said, whenever you are entering a position, make sure that you always have a plan for when things are not going your way or things are going wrong, right? So make sure you have that plan ready, no matter what position or no matter what entry you're going at. So, but for now, like I said, I don't see any reason that we have a reversal just yet. I don't see bullish divergence on the shorter time frame. So continuation is very likely the name of the game, towards the downside first. One more leg, maybe a small leg afterwards, downwards. But I really do think that the market is ready to be going back up eventually after that. But yeah, right now it's for traders, I do think that it's an opportunity rather than anything else. Anyways, what else can we look? Well, somebody asked for link, right? Okay, let's talk about link. Okay, yesterday, if you watch my channel, I told you guys I was in a long from this position here, and I said I would be closing. Yesterday it was not there yet. I said we would most likely get another leg up somewhere towards like $15.5, $16, something like that. And as you can see, this is where we ended up here. We ended quite high, a little bit higher than I expected actually, to 16.3 rather than anything else, right? So 16.3 was the top, and it's getting rejected right now, as you can see, and yeah, out of my long position. Like I said, I don't hold any altcoins for a very long time, and definitely not when I'm seeing that the Bitcoin dominance, as you can see, is going towards the upside right now. So you have to be very careful if you're holding any, like I said, this week and the next week. Very careful if you're holding any altcoins. So very very interesting spot right now for Link, right? So very interesting. Why is it very interesting? Because, well, this is the major support area, but if we start closing above it, as you can see, we are actually forming some sort of like a descending triangle, right? And if we are making a measured move from this descending triangle towards the downside, and, well, Link Moon boys, look away. Look away, don't look at this, don't look at this. But if we are making a measured moves towards the downside, what do we see? Let's say that we break from this point here towards the downside. Where do we see it ending? Well, you can clearly see that we would be ending at this area here, right? And this area here is the green box here, which is around the $8 level. $8. Well, does that sound familiar, that $8 to you? Well, you should, it should sound familiar, because when I was talking about this this movement, parabolic move usually goes back to the golden pocket area or the base 3, as you can see. And if we are making a parabolic retracement towards the downside, where can we see that the golden pocket retracement is? Yes, you have guessed it correctly. It's around $8. So for the people who are asking me, like I said, where do I think Link is eventually, I'm not saying now, I'm not saying it can still make a push up towards the downside, but very very likely, if you're talking about long term, over the next couple of months or something like that, very likely it's going to be going all the way back towards this area here around the $8. Is it not going to be now? Then very likely it's going to be over, and then over the next steps, right? But if we start breaking this support level here, and definitely if we are breaking below the EMA 200, below the $12.6, this will be coming through, right? I'm not saying that it's going to be immediately like in a red candle towards the downside, but if we start closing, so if we see some start of something like this movement, yeah, very likely we will go all the way back down to $8 or something like that, somewhere around that area. $8.50. Would I be interested in buying back down there? Of course I would be interested in buying back down there. Overall, the chart is not looking too bad or anything like that, but yeah, Link Moon boys, people who have bought at $19 or $20 when I said that when I made this chart and I said between 19 and a half and $20 and a half, I would be very, very careful. I would be very, very careful. And well, yeah. Imagine that you were still holding at like $20, or you bought at $20, and price go in a couple of months is back at $8. I mean, you get exactly the same situation like we had a couple of years ago when people were FOMOing in you know in all these altcoins, all these shit coins, and then they are holding back. You know, I know people still are holding like a Ripple from like, you know, $1.50 or something like that, and now it's like, you know, 30 cents, 25 cents. I have no idea what it is, but yeah, I mean, they're still hoping like, okay, well, maybe in 5 years I'll get my investment back. Well, that's not really a good investment, is it? Right? That's not really a good investment. But yeah, anyways, all I'm saying is be very careful. I'm not saying that it's going to be breaking immediately. If we as you can see here, we are forming some sort of like a resistance line here. If we break out of this triangle here, we actually would be very likely going back here towards the $18 and a half. So I'm not saying it's over for Link or anything like that. I'm just saying if we start closing and forming this structure here that we are forming, very, very likely we'll end up around that $8-ish level. But it has to confirm first. So but eventually in the long term it will go to that area. You know, it's just how technicals work. It's just how it works. But for now, I'm still not overly bearish or anything like that. I'm just waiting and see if we manage to hold this level here, for example here, and then we break up towards the upside. I'll be longing the breakout towards the upside. Like I said, I don't attach any emotions towards the coin or anything like that. I'm just here to trade it and to make money. That's and to be able to buy diapers. That's the only thing I care about. So yeah, just wanted to point it out. If this structure completes, it would be going towards this area here eventually. That would basically make this parabolic move completion back towards the base 3. So for the moon boys, be very, very careful. That's all I'm saying. Once again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Whatever you do with your money should and is your own responsibility. Okay, so yeah, now that we have our 4-hour candle or 12-hour candle close, let's see what happens here. Okay, so we bounced off from this green box here. Very likely it's going to be going a little bit I don't think it's going to be going that much up anymore. A little bit up, maybe back to like the EMA here, this line here, the EMA 100, which is currently at, what is the EMA? 11,638. And then we have potentially another bearish cross that is potentially forming between the EMA 21, the yellow line, and the EMA 100. So that would be basically just continuation of the trend towards the downside, another test towards the upside, and then very, very likely, like I said, very likely I'm expecting over the next week somewhere around this area here, around the 11,200. Do we then create some bullish divergence? Maybe, and then we can start hopefully talking about some reversal. And then of course the previous higher low would be this area here, and if we then break up here and then we break this area here, that would be confirming our reversal pattern, right? So but for now, I don't see any bullish divergence just yet, so very likely continuation of the trend towards the downside. Let's take a look on what the expected move charts are saying on the price. Let's take a look. Expected move charts, what are you saying? So first standard deviation is 11,700 towards the upside and 11,416 towards the downside. It's angling a little bit towards the upside, so maybe we'll get some surprise and maybe we'll wick out some shorters towards the upside. But like I said, now that all the moving averages and we don't have bullish divergence, very unlikely that we will be breaking that structure towards the upside. Taking a look at the Stokes, the 12-hour Stokes are still curling and still very, very, very negative towards the downside. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be happening very, very soon. As you can see here, the RSI cross up is at 11,700. Once again, if you are in a short like me, 11,700 or this EMA 55, right? As you can see here, 11,738. Of course, it's going to be going down over time while the price is below that price, that EMA is going to be moving towards the downside as well. So it will be eventually around the 11,700, and that's basically what the RSI is telling us as well, right? So starting to close, if you see a closure above that EMA 55, then just exit your short position. I mean, that's what I'm going to be doing basically. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. Yeah, it's already starting to curl a little bit here. Doesn't look very good as well. Doesn't look very strong as well, right? So yeah, yeah. Once again here, going back up a little bit, but as you can see here, need to be closing above 11,568. But yeah, not that much information or anything like that. Can we see something on the HVP? Oh, HVP is very low right now on the 4 hour chart, below the it's at 10 right now. So it looks like we're gonna be probably, let's take a look on the 12 hour. Yeah, quite low as well. So yeah, very likely later tonight, not later tonight, very likely tomorrow morning is basically what they're saying, that we will have some sort of big movement. And well, it makes sense, right? At 6 o'clock, well, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, the for me 6 o'clock, the CME tradings are going to be opening, and then we will be able to see if we have a gap down or a gap up as well, right? So very likely we will have a gap formed, and then we will kind of know more the direction of what Bitcoin is wanting to be doing around there. But like I've explained yesterday already, this does not look very strong as you can see, a bearish engulfing candle. Looks like more continuation towards the downside on the CME chart as well. So like I said, very likely we will have some continuation towards the downside first in the very short term. Overall, medium macro, I'm still not bearish at all until we break the daily structure. If we break the daily structure, I'll be quite bearish, and like I said, very likely below 10k over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I still don't see it happening just yet. But yeah, crazier things have happened before, and we will find out what will happen. So yeah, that's my plan for today. Holding my short, closing it around 11,200-ish area here, or the EMA 200, or the simple 200 moving average, which is basically at the same price. It's crossing over right now. So somewhere around there is where I'm expecting. But overall, if it does go back there and there, very likely it will go a little bit deeper, around the 11,000 ish, lower 11,000 ish area, and then basically we need to be seeing if we create that lower high on the daily, the breaking the higher low structure on the daily, yes or no, and then we'll be finding out. Another way, if you are not in a position, by the way, if you're not in a position right now, how can we know that we will most likely be breaking towards that downside? What you can do is waiting for a close below this previous body candle here. So if we put the line here, we can see that the price is at 11,472, right? So if we have a 4 hour candle close, so if any 4 candle closes below 11,472, it would confirm our lower low structure once again. So we would have, this would be not a low, a lower high, a higher low anymore. We would create a new lower low, so that would confirm our move towards the downside. So if you want to be very, very safe in the trading position, you can just wait for a 4 hour candle close below this this orange line here, a body be closing below that. Very likely it will be continuation towards the downside, because we would be creating that lower low structure on our downtrend as well. Okay, last one before we close shop. Let's take a look at the FET. I don't know what FET is. Fetch AI. Let's take a look. Okay, let's take a look. We just have a bearish cross, as you can see here, bearish cross on the EMA 21 and EMA 55. The 10 simple moving average is still pointing a little bit towards the upside right here. So I do think that very likely we will have a small push towards the upside, but I don't think it's going to go very far. I think it's going to be continuation towards the downside as well. But maybe a retest of this area here. So retest of the cross back to maybe around the pivot line, right? 0.119, something like that. But very likely as well, continuation towards the downside after. Where do I see it going? Well, very likely here, the EMA 200s, and then I'll be taking it from there. So somewhere around here is very likely afterwards. 0.095, the 200 EMA is where I would be aiming it. But for now, very short term, very likely a small push towards the upside. Small push towards the upside, but then very likely rejection. If it doesn't reject, if it does start closing above this area here, above the EMA 55, then we would be seeing a potential move back up all the way here towards this this green box here, which would be around 13.6, something like that. But looking at the whole structure, doesn't look like, looks very similar like what Bitcoin, right? Very likely movement towards the downside, continuation of the downside as well. Yeah, but for now, yeah, very small, very short term, very likely a small push towards the upside. But yeah, I would not put my hopes up. Let's put it like that. It's getting, it's touching the 10 simple moving average, but it seems like it wants to reject from it so far. But yeah, I would still expect a little bit higher. So yeah, somewhere a retest of this area here, around this area here, the pivot line, right? The pivot line, somewhere around here, retesting, basically retesting the bearish cross is where I would be expecting. But if we do get closes above it, yeah, why not? We would very likely go back up a little bit higher as well. But would I be expecting it? Let's take a look if we have some divergences or something like that. Let's take a look from this point, this point, this point. We have, do we have some bullish? No, some bearish divergence here. No divergences or anything like that. So yeah. Oh, there we go. We have our test, as you can see. real time analysis. We got our test of the EMA 21 and EMA 55 because it's very near each other. But as you can see, a substantial wick. People are just putting sell orders at that level, as you can see. But it's trying to be going back up a little bit. But yeah, this looks like continuation also as well towards the downside. But it's normal, right? When Bitcoin is very probably going towards the downside, it will just drag everything down as well. So, like I said, would not be interested in any altcoins. Just waiting out and buying it on. Right. All right. That's it for today. Really tired already. So to speak to you guys tomorrow, we have the weekly candle close tomorrow analysis, so that's going to be pretty big. Let's see if we what the CME chart is going to be looking like at opening, and then yeah, like I said, small push towards the upside, pivot line, continuation very likely towards the downside, and then we'll take it from there. Hopefully we'll make some money, and yeah, we move on until that same thing tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow same time, same place, 7:30 p.m. UTC plus 8 is my time zone. Please like, share, comment, and well, do whatever you want with this channel.